Welcome to CinePro, where endings are just the start. Explore gripping tales of survival and life's final moments. Travelers find themselves on an island full of giant, terrifying monsters. They must figure out a way to escape from this place. So, what will happen? This is the summary of the movie Snake 2, 2019. We begin with a group of travelers in the middle of the ocean near Nigeria. A girl is standing at the back of the ship looking at the water. Her father, Jong, suddenly appears and grabs her, jokingly telling her there are monsters in the water. It happens to be the girl's birthday, and Jong gives her a wireless transmitter as a birthday gift. However, she doesn't like the strange gift at all and feels upset. The people on the ship are happy watching dolphins jumping in the water, unaware that the dolphins and fish are fleeing from giant monsters beneath them. One of the monsters hits the ship, causing everyone to fall to the ground. The ship starts to tip over, and most of them fall into the water. Jong tries with all his strength to save his daughter. He jumps into the water to grab her and notices a massive, terrifying shadow beneath the people. The monster strikes the ship again, causing both Jong and his daughter to fall into the water. A while later, Jong wakes up to find himself on the shore, surrounded by his shipmates, most of whom are injured. But the problem is, his daughter is missing. He starts searching for her when he suddenly hears her voice on the wireless transmitter, indicating that she is nearby. The survivors spot the rest of their friends from the ship on the other side of the shore. They call out to each other, and Jong sees his daughter among them. He starts walking toward her, but a strange man stops him, warning him not to go. This is because the people on the other side don't realize there's a giant monster behind them. It's an enormous snake, and it begins attacking them all. The attack sends everyone flying into the air. Jong rushes forward, trying to save his daughter and protect himself from being eaten by the snake. The snake brutally devours people, and Jong keeps running, seeing bodies flying everywhere. The same man stops him again. At that moment, Jong's daughter gives him one last look before being eaten by the monster. Jong collapses to the ground, devastated. After consuming dozens of people, the snake retreats into the forest. The remaining survivors gather, trying to calm themselves after their losses. Jong is heartbroken and hopeless, but he is shocked when he notices a signal coming from his daughter's wireless transmitter. He decides he will save her no matter the cost. A few people decide to join Jong on his mission. A man named Mao joins them with an axe and volunteers to lead the group in the search for the giant snake. The group ventures into the forest, while others choose to stay behind. However, those who stayed behind are attacked by another monster with giant tentacles, which drags them away one by one. They realize too late that a massive tentacled creature is pulling them in. Everyone tries to flee in terror, except for one person who freezes in shock and is also dragged away. Meanwhile, the giant snake returns to its lair with the people it has eaten. Afterward, it heads back into the forest to continue hunting humans. Some of the people it swallowed are still alive, including the ship's captain, who regains consciousness and realizes it's impossible to escape the pit they're trapped in due to its high walls. He notices others are alive and starts helping and organizing them. He even finds Jong's daughter alive. One of the survivors discovers something strange in their location. When they approach, they find a giant egg. Before anyone can touch the egg, Jong's daughter stops them, warning that it might hatch and release another snake. They realize they are meant to be food for the snakes and are horrified, unsure of what to do. A businessman picks up a rock and attacks the egg, a foolish attempt to harm the snake inside. But he stops when he feels vibrations coming from the egg. The egg begins to hatch, and a snake emerges. Everyone panics and hides behind rocks as the snake approaches them slowly. Before it attacks, it notices an unconscious woman and changes its direction toward her. As the snake nears, the woman wakes up, screaming for help, but no one has the courage to save her. The poor woman becomes the snake's first meal. Jong's group, meanwhile, continues deeper into the forest, following the snake's trail. They find only a dead person and destroyed trees. They search for hours, losing the trail and not knowing where the snake is. Deciding to stop and rethink their strategy, Mao notices black liquid dripping from the trees. An old man lights a cigarette and tosses the match to the ground, causing everything to catch fire. The black liquid turns out to be flammable. Mao manages to extinguish the fire, but the smoke affects everyone, making it hard to breathe. Something strange happens in the area, and Jong feels a headache. He sees his friends smiling at him maliciously, and the giant snake appears, circling the area. Jong hallucinates, seeing his daughter blaming him for not saving her. The snake wraps itself around Jong's neck, squeezing until he can't breathe. He struggles to free himself until water splashes on his face, revealing that he was hallucinating due to the smoke from the black liquid. All of Jong's companions were also hallucinating, with tree branches wrapped around their necks, pulling them in. It turns out to be a giant, evil plant with more branches trying to capture them. Jong and Mao quickly wake their friends and cut the branches, managing to save everyone except one person, who gets dragged inside and impaled by the plant. The rest have no choice but to run away. Back at the snake's lair, the people there manage to kill the baby snake, but not before it kills a woman. The businessman who killed the snake goes mad, yelling and fighting with another person. A woman named Jian intervenes, calming them down and insisting they must work together to escape. Meanwhile, Yang's group continues searching for the giant snake. Mao crafts a strong spear for Zhang, which might help in their fight against the monster. At the same time, one of their companions, Feng, goes to a lake to drink water. He notices something strange as thick smoke fills the air, and a strange creature quickly passes by him. Feng is shocked to discover the creature is a bizarre-looking fish with sharp teeth. Suddenly, the fish tries to attack Feng, aiming for his face. Feng grabs it and throws it away, only to hear a loud noise coming from the smoke, and he finds many predatory fish coming down like rain. Feng Yi quickly runs to his friends and tries to save himself, but the fish keep flying after him, so they all start running. Mao was trying to attack them with his axe, but it was useless because there were so many of them. The only way to survive was to hide behind any tree, while Mao tried to attack the fish so his friends could escape. But what happens is that Mao is attacked by one of the fish, forcing him to hide behind a tree like the rest of the team. Afterward, they notice that the fish only fly in the direction of the smoke, so they all start running to escape the smoke and the fish. The fish chase them at full speed as they run desperately to save their lives. When they near the edge of the smoke, they jump out to escape the smoke and the attack, and they see the fish die instantly as soon as they leave the smoke's path. But the danger isn't over. It's just beginning. Mao notices huge footprints on the ground, clearly belonging to a giant beast. There was nothing around them, but a slimy substance falls on Fang's shoulder. Fang looks up and sees a massive creature above him. They are terrified by the creature's size, and one of them tries to throw a rock at it, but is shocked when he sees its massive tentacles gripping the creature. The tentacles pull the creature into the forest, indicating that they are entering a dark nightmare. The massive beast leaps into the air and lands in front of their team, revealing itself to be a giant, angry frog. The team starts running quickly, but the frog grabs the old man with its tongue and pulls him in. The old man grabs onto a tree, and his friends rush to help him. But the frog's tongue was strong and wouldn't let go of the man. One of them tries to cut the frog's tongue, but a spray burns his face. Mao appears and throws a sharp stick at the frog, hitting its eye. The frog lets go of the old man due to the intense pain, allowing the team to escape. The frog jumps into the air, leaping through the forest, and was about to attack the team when a giant snake appears and swallows the frog whole. The team watches the terrifying scene as the snake notices them. They immediately start running through the forest, and the snake destroys everything in its path, chasing them. It targets the old man and another injured man because they were running slowly. The two jump between the trees, and the snake can't reach them because trees blocked its path. Fang Yi tries to save them by throwing a rock at the snake, but this only makes the snake focus on him and chase him. Fang Yi manages to escape just in time, and the snake loses track of him in the plants. The rest hide behind trees as the snake circles around, searching for them. It approaches one of them by scent, and the man is so scared he looks beside him and finds the snake staring at him. He begs it not to eat him, but the snake doesn't listen and devours him. The rest of the team is shocked to see their friend die, and they immediately run away as the snake chases them again. They continue running until they reach a water pool where they submerge themselves and stay still. This tactic allows them to lower their body temperature, making them invisible to the snake. The snake gives up and leaves. The remaining people in the snake's lair hear strange vibrations. Realizing that the snake is coming back, they pretend to be dead, and the snake indeed returns, regurgitating other people. The snake realizes one of its offspring has died, enters a state of extreme rage, screams, and leaves the area. The people get up after the snake leaves, but they find its lair is a trap. Another snake appears and heads toward them. Everyone panics and runs, leaving Gong's daughter behind. Unexpectedly, the snake doesn't eat her because she tries to communicate with it, placing her hands on it and forming a mother-child bond. Meanwhile, the others try to escape the pit, lifting the businessman to the surface. But the cunning businessman kicks one of them down, drawing the snake's attention. It attacks the fallen youth, wrapping around him until he suffocates and dies. The businessman escapes to the surface but decides not to save anyone and flees. The snake swallows the young man, and the rest of the group is terrified, having no means of escape. Elsewhere, the remaining people find a house in the forest. They enter and discover it is a military laboratory. They find the skeletal remains of a soldier and search the books to understand what's happening. They learn that experiments were conducted on the island's animals, turning them into giant, monstrous creatures. Fortunately, Mao finds a mobile communication device in the house and manages to create batteries from the chemicals to power it. He begins sending messages, hoping the Navy will rescue them. To their surprise, the businessman enters, and they ask him where the others are. The businessman lies, saying they all died. Gong feels hopeless, thinking his daughter is dead, and leaves the house. But Mao stops him. Gong collapses to the ground, screaming. Then, they all hear the sound of a helicopter, feeling it is their only hope of escape. Except for Gong, who doesn't want to leave because he received a signal on the device from his daughter. They all run toward the helicopter as fast as they can, but the people in the helicopter can't see them in the forest. Gong tells his friends his daughter is still alive because he received a signal, but the businessman insists everyone is dead. The group doesn't believe Gong and thinks he's gone mad until they hear his daughter's voice on the device. The businessman realizes he's been exposed and runs away like a coward. The old man chases after him, and Gong and the others set out to find their friends. Meanwhile, more snakes approach them. The businessman reaches an open field and the helicopter spots him, but the giant snake attacks the helicopter and swallows it whole. The businessman is shocked and tries to retreat, but the old man catches him, attacking him and demanding to know where the others are. The businessman grabs a rock from the ground and hits the old man on the head, then strangles him until he dies. Inside the snake's lair, more snakes gather around the people. But there is one of the snakes defending them because he thinks that Young's daughter is his mother. At the same time, Gong appears at the scene and yells because he sees his daughter. He throws a tree branch into the pit to save them. The snakes approach the girls and Gong. He tries to pull them with all his strength, but something terrifying stops him. It turns out to be the giant snake appearing and seeing Gong, jumping at him to eat him. But Mao strikes the snake with an axe at the right moment. The snake flips from the injury, and Gong takes the opportunity to pull his daughter and Jian. Mao tries to dodge the snake's attacks as it recovers from the injury and is about to eat Mao. But Fang appears and throws his weapon at the snake's other eye, giving Mao the chance to cut down a tree and set a trap for the snake. He drops a large branch on the snake, causing it to fall to the ground, creating an earthquake. Gong also falls but tries with all his strength to pull them up. The captain arrives and pushes them up, but he gets attacked by the snakes, sacrificing himself so that they can live. Gong finally manages to save them. Jian reunites with her friend Fang and is happy to see him alive. But the celebrations don't last long because the snake is still alive. The whole team starts running, and the businessman, who was still alive, trips and falls into the snake pit again. The small snakes gather around him, finish him off, coil around his body, and kill him. Gong takes his friends and daughter to an open area, but Mao says it's time to stop running. They need to fight the monster instead of just fleeing. He decides to stay with Fang to distract the snake so the rest of the team can escape safely. The snake appears and approaches Mao and Fang. Mao runs toward it bravely, unafraid of dying. The snake hits the ground, sending Mao flying. But he gets up and slashes the snake's skin with the axe. However, the attack has no effect on the snake, which strikes Mao with its tail, sending him flying again. Just as the snake is about to crush Mao with its head, Fang appears and saves him. The two run into the forest, heading toward the flammable black liquid. The snake chases them in a rage while they hide behind trees. When the snake gets close and discovers Fang's location, Mao scares it, showing that it has fallen into a trap. The snake flees in fear of the black liquid. Mao dips his stick into the liquid and chases the snake. Gong decides he must help Mao and Fang, telling his daughter to escape with Jian. As soon as he leaves the girls, he sees his friends telling him to run immediately. Gong realizes he made a big mistake, turns around, and finds the snake behind his daughter. With one attack, it swallows his daughter. Gong becomes enraged and decides to chase the snake. He tries to injure it with the stick he has, but the snake strikes him with its tail, throwing him far away. Mao appears in the battle holding a torch, which attracts the snake's attention due to its high heat. The snake starts chasing him into the forest. Mao runs past the flammable liquid and the snake follows. Mao throws the torch onto the liquid as the snake approaches. The entire area ignites and the snake burns. It writhes in pain, dragging itself out of the forest. Finally, the snake collapses to the ground and dies. Gong goes to the snake, opens its mouth, and pulls out his daughter. She is unconscious, and they try to revive her. Gong loses hope that she will wake up, but she comes back to life. And with that, we reach the end of the episode. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. Bye-bye.